Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, December 11th, 2018, and this is the RCSD's regular business board meeting. Liz, can I get a roll call?
Sure. Director Nidickman?
Here.
Director Casey?
Here.
President DeMarco?
Here.
And Directors Kaler and Maynard have excused absences tonight.
Okay. Right. And this evening we have some special guests. We're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance done by our Cub Scout Pack 657.
Color Guard, attention. Will the audience please rise? Color Guard, advance. Scout salute. The red in our flag stands for courage and bravery. Today, as we salute our flag, let us remember the men and women in the armed forces who are serving our country and us. Color Guard, post the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic in which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Color Guard, dismiss.
Can I have them all come up and state their names? In front of the microphone so we can all hear.
Okay. Dean.
I'm Riley Canelli and I am Weeblos 1. My name is Beckett Gray.
My name is Alan Lehigh, rank Rebo 1.
Thank you very much.
Dean's brother.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
Okay, you can be seated. Okay, our next holiday guest under presentations is the a cappella choir from McAuliffe Middle School.
Tony.
One, two, three, four.
Doom da doom doom doom, rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas
Cub Scouts, can you go down to the podium and tell us your name?
Hello, my name is Ashley Agatep.
My name is Samantha Sutherland.
Hi, my name is Jamie Nguyen.
Hello, my name is Giselle Garcia.
Hi, my name is Leah Guijaro.
Thank you very much for singing for us. Okay, fantastic. All right, we have another presentation, and that's from the Orange County Fire Authority, Holiday Fire Safety, and we have Brandy Najum? Close? Close. Okay, sorry. Hello, welcome.
All right. Well, thank you for having us tonight. We appreciate the opportunity to come talk to the city of Rossmoor about a couple things that you can remember going into the holiday season to keep you and your family safe. So tonight, what we're going to discuss is the 3 main causes of fire within your home. And the first one is cooking. So it is the #1 cause of all fires in homes. And a lot of people would not be surprised by this, right? The most important thing to remember when you're cooking is before you start cooking, you want to make sure that the area, the stovetop, or if you're cooking in the microwave, that everything is clean, okay? You don't want any type of debris, any type of extra storage. A lot of the times those pot holders or those kitchen towels that you have end up too close to the stove, and that's definitely a fire hazard. During the holiday seasons especially, we want to be aware of unattended food on the stove. It's really easy during this time of year for us to have our holiday parties and for us to invite guests over and get distracted by the phone ringing or, the music or somebody, wanting to help or give a hug, and all of a sudden we turn our back. And the next thing we know, we've got a fire on our stove. So that's definitely something we want you to be aware of during this holiday season, and to remember, what do you do if you turn around and you see that your stove is on fire? The most important thing for you to do is to try to cover it with either a top, or if you have a baking sheet, you can go ahead and put that on top and then turn the stove off. A lot of the times when we have microwave fires, the first thing people want to do is try to open the microwave and put out the fire. We actually recommend for Orange County Fire Authority that you keep that door closed and you unplug your microwave, okay? So those are a couple things that you can remember going into the holiday season for cooking. The second cause of fires in the home is heating equipment. So what you want to be aware of with this, we're talking about dryers, we're talking about your home heaters, and we've actually seen a rise in the number of fires resulting from space heaters. So you're going to want to make sure that that equipment is placed as far away from any type of flammable object as possible. It's very important that you hire professionals to come out and clean those, especially those lint traps. Those are things that we oftentimes forget about, especially when we're doing laundry, right? We just throw that load in and don't think to clean out that lint trap before we start that next load. And we also want to make sure that we're turning off all of those appliances before we're leaving our home or before we're going to sleep. More often than not, we respond to calls throughout the night where there's a dryer fire because we're trying to make good use of our time, right, and get that taken care of so it's nice and dry in the morning, and all of a sudden we wake up to a fire in our home. The third cause of fire is electrical, and of course, at this time of year, this is a huge concern. When we were driving here tonight, I made a comment about how beautiful this city is decorated. I have to say that I've seen more lights on this drive than I have down in South County, so kudos to you guys for that. But with that, it looks beautiful, but have we taken the safety precautions that we need to make sure that this is safe for us this season. So we definitely want to make sure that we're checking all of the cords regularly for damage, especially on those Christmas trees. Oftentimes there's a bulb missing or a bulb cracked, and we don't think that it's a big deal, but it absolutely 100% is a huge fire hazard. So you want to make sure that those are replaced. If there's any frays, if there's any wires sticking out, if there's any bulbs missing, whether that's indoor or outdoor. And you also want to make sure that we're not overloading those outlets, okay? It's really important to make sure everything is fully plugged in, but that we're not putting too many things into one circuit and overloading it. We also recommend that you use surge protectors, okay? Those are created for more than, one or two things, and that is the safest way for you to prevent any type of a fire electrically. Also, make sure that you're looking at your outlets. If you notice any type of discoloration, if you notice that something's sparking or anything like that, that's definitely a phone call that you need to make to an electrician to try to find out what's going on in your home. A couple things that we recommend, not only during this time of year, throughout the year, but especially as something that you can take into consideration going into the holiday season and even into the new year. There's a couple things. First and foremost, smoke alarms. Working smoke alarms within your home are going to reduce your risk of dying in a home fire by 50%. Okay, we recommend at Orange County Fire Authority that you make sure that you have a smoke alarm on every level of your home, that you have one in every bedroom, and that you have one in every hallway or outside of every sleeping area. It's extremely important to have those in your home. Most of them you can replace. You should check it every month, first of all. So you want to make sure that you're checking and inspecting that it's working properly once a month. And we do have some new ones out now where you have to only replace the battery every 10 years. So I know that's a long calendar reminder away, but it definitely is important to have those smoke alarms in your home. And the other thing that we recommend is a home escape plan. You would be surprised how many people, when asked if there were an emergency or there were a fire in your home, where would you exit and where would you meet your loved ones? Most of the time, people don't have a plan, okay? It's worth that conversation over dinner, at dinner one night, having the conversation of, hey, in your room, you've got a window and a door. What are you gonna do if that door's hot and you can't make it out? You got to use the window, or vice versa, right? And it's extremely important when you have children to make sure that they know where to meet outside of the home, because you never know what's going to happen, right? If mom and dad get caught upstairs and the child's able to exit, you want to make sure that when you are all out of the house, however you can get out of the house, that you have that one area to meet to know that everybody's safe. It's also important to practice it. There's some families that like to do it once a month, other families maybe that, do it twice a year. So just as long as everybody's on the same page, that's what's important. And the very last thing is to make sure that you have a fire extinguisher in your home, especially in your kitchen area. With cooking being the #1 cause of fire, it is absolutely essential that you have one in your home. Now, again, your fire extinguisher that you would have in your home would be good for a small fire. So, a pot or a pan on fire on the stove would be a good use of it. We use the acronym PASS, and that is how you would actually use the fire extinguisher. So you're going to pull the pin. You always want to aim at the base of the fire, and then you want to squeeze and sweep. And of course, before you even consider using that extinguisher, you're going to make sure that everybody's out and that you have a way out, okay? If you don't have a way out, or you're nervous that the fire is getting too big, the best thing that you could do is just make sure that you've made that call to 911 and that you exit and make sure that you're safe. So we wish you, from Orange County Fire Authority, a very happy holiday season. Thank you again for your time tonight. We appreciate the opportunity to come out, and we hope you guys stay safe.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Next item is certification of election and swearing in of newly elected board members. Director Kaylord is not here. However, he came in last week and was sworn in the office, but Director Nigman is here, and I need to swear him in. So We'll come down to the... Who do you want the mic on? Probably both of us.
That's fine, yeah, yeah.
All right. So raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name, do solemnly swear
I, Mark Nittickman, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservations or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservations or purpose of mental reservations or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations. Okay. Okay, item B, additions to the agenda. According to the section of the Government Code, action may be taken on items not on the agenda if a majority of the board determines by formal vote that an emergency exists, or 2/3 of the board formally votes, all the board members present, that there is a need to take action which arose of the agenda since the agenda was posed. So any additions to the agenda?
Nothing this evening.
All right, with that, I will open up public forum, and I have one card here. Todd McHenry? Okay. How you doing, Todd?
Thank you for the chance to speak with you again.
Anytime.
I talked with you in August about parking and street sweeping, and I just wanted to let you know that you have a fantastic team in your office. I had a chance to sit down with Mr. Ruth. He has had a seamless handover to Mr. Mendoza, Ms. Deering, and the rest of the staff. It's been much more complicated than any of us anticipated, but they are reaching out to all the stakeholders, surfacing many of the competing concerns, promoting discussion, trying to consider all the alternatives, and also have done a very good job of explaining the process of trying to change it. Yep. We appreciate the board's help in continuing to address these concerns. As you know, parking and street sweeping are a never-ending source of tension in Rossmoor. Yes. But I feel very hopeful that with the support of the office, we'll continue working in 2019 to address the issues, and hopefully we can come together and have a consensus around a desired solution. So I think usually people come here and complain to you, but I just want to tell you thank you, and we're not done, but it's working very well.
Very good. And thank you for coming up and showing your sentiments on this, and thank you for working with staff and coming to these meetings. And I know that you'll be, whatever we do in 2019, and hopefully we're going to have meetings and get some resolution to this problem, because it is a problem. We need to change things, but it's as you know, it's bigger than just RCSD and making little changes in RCSD. There's a lot more entities. So
we appreciate the board's support.
Awesome.
Yes, thank you very much for coming up.
Thanks.
Thank you, Todd.
Do we have an update, or we could get one later from?
Yeah,
Mr.
we were.
Mendoza?
Are you going to update on anything with sweeping?
No.
No. Okay.
2019.
2019. Yeah.
Apparently, yes.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. I will close the public forum. And moving on, reports to the board. D1, report of the Recreation Superintendent, Rossmoor Winter Festival. I think it's coming up. Right, Chris?
Yeah.
I've seen the email blast.
Yeah, I've seen. I've seen signs and emails.
How you guys doing? I'm just giving you guys an overview of this year's 4th annual Rossmoor Winter Festival. It's this Friday, December 14th, right here at Rush Park, starting at 6 p.m. Let me start with the entertainers this year. This year we have a Hopkinton Elementary School Choir, and it's directed by Susan McElderry. We also have McAuliffe Middle School Choir, directed by Shannon Wallace. You saw a couple of the girls here earlier today. They did a great job. The girls, Jamie, Leah, Sam, Ashley, and Giselle. That's just part of the choir. The rest of the choir will be here on Friday. We have the Bells of Bethlehem. They have handbells that they do some stuff with. They are from Bethlehem Lutheran Church. We also have Lee Elementary School Choir. They're also directed by Susan McElderry. This year we have the Los Alamitos High School Choir. They're bringing a caroling choir this year, and they'll be directed by Moana Derlin. And we just added a quartet, and they're called Jukebox Memories, and they're out of Orange Empire Chorus, and they'll be following the high school choir. And then to finish off the entertainment, we'll have Calvary Band in there with the Calvary Chapel here that uses this auditorium. The festival activities we have another tree lighting that's brought to you by Light Up Your Holidays. We do an annual tree countdown with, I think you did it last year. And it was a great time. I think we're going to bring out Santa this time as well to join you. We also have photo with Santa, and that's right here up on stage. You could bring your family, take a photo in front of the tree, in front of the Rossmoor sign we have up there. We have a snow zone again this year. That's brought to you by Elite Special Events. It's a little bit bigger this year, and we added a couple little lights and some snow to go over it, some fake snow machines, and there's going to be 3 sledding hills where you could go take your kids and jump on a sled, take a little sled ride. We have a petting zoo again this year, also brought to you by Elite Special Events. The petting zoo this year has a llama, a goat, a tortoise, a pig, and a miniature pony. You can go check them out. That was a big hit last year. There was a line most of the night for that.
Oh, yeah.
We also added pony rides this year, and it's like a merry-go-round. It's called Pony Go Round, and I think they're going to doll up the ponies with some antlers, and you put your kid on it, and you just take a little ride around for a little bit. Should be fun.
Yeah.
Arts and crafts. Arts and crafts are brought to you by the Recreation Department. We've been working on that for a while. Should be fun. We always have a bunch of kids in here doing some crafts. The vendor area, we have about 30 vendors this year, 30 spots. They're all local vendors or organizations, and they have gifts, holiday gifts, and information for you guys to take a look at. We also have a beer garden as well that's hosted by the Lions Club, and that's for adults 21 and over only. There'll be a fenced-off little area for them to hang out in, enjoy themselves. And we also have food trucks if you guys get hungry after that. We have 4 food trucks, good variety this year. We had a burger truck coming, but something happened to their truck, so we had to switch it out. We switched it out with a wood-burning pizza oven truck. This looks really good. The other ones we got Cousin's Maine Lobster. They got lobster rolls. I tried the lobster rolls last year. They were delicious. I recommend those. Dogzilla, they have a variety of different hot dog options you could get. We have Richie's. They do stuff with grilled cheese and other options with grilled cheese as well. And we also have Java on the Go, and they're going to have hot and cold beverages for you as well. We also have our title sponsor this year. Again, for the 2nd year, it's going to be Craig and Kim Chamberlain with the Chamberlain Real Estate. They did a really great job of helping us promote it and sending out flyers. They also sponsored the Santa Claus as well. They bring in a Grinch, somebody dressed up as the Grinch, as well as 2 elves. Our other sponsors, our gold sponsors, Rossmoor Homeowner Association, Jones and Mayer, Brightview Landscape Services, Southern California Gas Company. Our silver sponsors are CR&R Environmental Services, Braithwaite Chiropractic, and our community sponsors are the Youth Center, which donated that tree for us, the Orange County Sheriff's Department, Orange County Fire Authority, Los Alamitos Unified School District, the Children's Garden Preschool, and Little Cottonwood Preschool. So come join us December 14th here at Rush Park in the auditorium and as well as the parking lot. Tell everybody, your friends, your neighbors, bring everybody.
And it starts at 6 p.m.?
Starts at 6 p.m.
And then the choirs, you space the choirs starting at 6?
Yeah, right? About 6:10, 6:15 they start. Okay. The first one starts.
All right. And the band comes at the end?
Yeah, they'll come at the end. We got all the choirs, and then the quartet, and then the low-style choir as well, and then the band at the very end.
Okay. I think, maybe next year if we could get one of the food trucks to come and give us samplings the meeting before, we might get more people here for our meeting.
I'll talk about it.
Especially the lobster truck.
I'll see what they say.
That'd be good if we can.
Any questions? Sounds like a blast. Can't wait
should
for
be.
Friday.
No, you've done a great job in the past, and I expect no less this year, so
Yeah.
thanks for all your efforts.
Any rain forecast on Saturday?
Now we've been checking the rain forecast. It looks like it's going to be good to go. We
Great.
should be good. Everybody come on down.
Yep. Thank you very much, Chris.
No problem. Take care.
Great job.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay. Okay, moving on to Part E, consent calendar. Any consent items are expected to be routine and non-controversial, to be acted upon by the Board of Directors at one time. If any board member requests that any item be removed from the consent calendar, it shall be removed by the President so that it be acted on separately.
Move to adopt the consent calendar.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Okay. And no public hearing, no resolution, no ordinances. Going to H1, report of the Budget Committee, 2018 update of the 5-year fiscal plan. Mr. Mendoza.
Thank you. President DeMarco, members of the board, the Budget Committee met on November 27th and reviewed the update of the 5-year plan prepared by HT Group. The consensus of the committee was to forward the plan to the board for review and adoption tonight. The plan will serve as a tool to develop the district's annual budget and guiding principles for maintaining our reserves. Tonight we have with us Mr. Tabata of the HT Group, who will be presenting his findings and answering any questions. Henry?
Good evening, Henry.
Thank you, Mr. Mendoza. I don't think it's fair that I have to follow lobster rolls.
Well, I'll try to get you up before that next year.
That was a great presentation. It's really grown from that first year, I can tell you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, amen.
Members of the board, as Mr. Mendoza pointed out, I prepared the fiscal plan at the direction of the general manager, and he and I presented it to the budget committee, who said to pass it on to the board for review and adoption, and hopefully we can get this done this evening and we can put it to bed. Let's begin with your page 42 on the agenda. Therein you see our 217 projections against our 218 actuals and the delta of those numbers. We overstated revenue by $108,000. That, I think, is primarily due to the fact that the housing market, very robust, a lot of turnover in property, reassessment, et cetera. But not only that, all revenue categories except street sweeping, which is a fixed cost contract with the county, had increases. That just shows an overall robust economy headed by, of course, the housing market. With regard to expenses, understated those by $26,000, a small amount against a $1.4 million budget. So I feel very confident that our projections are holding true and that we're on good stead. Our revenue increased actually by 7.58%, which is a good number. Expenses decreased by 2%, which is also a very good number. For an overall net difference of 3.18% for revenue and expenses, which I couldn't consider that isn't within the bounds of normal. If we turn to your page 45, you'll see Table A, which shows what your actual revenues are over a 5-year period. And you'll see almost a straight line projection, which is what we've been basing our analysis on, and it holds true through the year 2018. That's page 45. Now, what this tells us is that you have a very stable budget, but also keep in mind that all of these figures are based on audited numbers. They're not projections. These are just audited numbers at year end as audited by your accounting firm and adopted by your committee that deals with the audit at the end of the year. Following page is Table D, which could have been normally a straight line projection as well. And you see a dip there in 2016. And that was, of course, the water crisis, when water prices went through the roof and your expenses went down as a result of cutting back on water substantially. Yep. I mean, you almost went dry on your grass to maintain that.
Killed it.
Yeah, well, it was mandated, and you followed the mandate, and of course now you can see that there's a recovery. Your grass is green again, and your expenses are back on a normal trend line. On page 48, page 47, you show a comparison of revenues versus expenses. And again, except for that anomaly due to the water crisis, they track well, except that revenue is overtaking expenses by a considerable amount. And again, that is in part due to good fiscal sound management by your district staff, and also by the fact that you have that robust economy that is driving those revenues up to a number that we haven't seen for some time. On page 48 is our 2018-2023 projected revenue, and it's based on a 4% trend line going to the year 2023. That's likely going to change. If you're following the housing market, you'll see that it's flattening out, but prices haven't gone down, even with high mortgage rates. And because of the housing shortage, it appears that it's going to stay at a pretty high level for at least the next 2 or 3 years, just because of the lack of housing opportunities. So I feel comfortable about this projection still. Next year, when we adjust this again, we'll see how close we came to maintaining that straight line. On page 49, we have your projected expenses. As opposed to a 4% revenue increase trend line, we're looking at a 3.46% expense line. And unless there's something that unexpected, something we can't contemplate, I feel very confident about this based on current expenditures and the way in which the district is being managed. Page 50 shows you the relationship again between projected revenues versus expenses. And again, on a trend line basis, there is an increase in the difference between the two, but it's not a dramatic increase. Now here's the Table G, which is page 51, is really the history of the district's management of its reserves. Started in 2006 when we had about $1.2 million in reserves. There was a period there where the district needed a staggering amount of capital expenditures. And so that revenues, those reserves were drawn down in order to pay for those capital improvements, until now that we're back on an uptick starting in 2016, going to 2018, where you're now at $1,009,301 in audited reserves. That's a phenomenal number against your budget. And so again, I attribute that to sound fiscal management and just a good economy. Page 52 shows you the relationships on a graph between revenues, expenses, and reserves. And you'll see that reserves are steadily climbing starting in 2015, and will continue to grow based on current trends. Graph B shows you actual 2006 to 2018, excuse me, it should be, 2023 projected reserve levels, with the trend line going from $1.2 million all the way up to about $1.6 million, $1.7 million. That's a very healthy outlook, and stand ready to answer any questions you might have regarding that. The final page of your document is the specific recommendations on the 5-year fiscal plan, which was adopted by this board. Following those recommendations, we're in good stead. You have your rainy day fund, which is stable. You have an adopted $500,000 reserve minimum, which is stable, and it really sets the tone for the staff to develop your future budgets and expenditures. Stand ready to ask your questions, answer your questions.
Okay.
Mr. Casey?
Hey, I just wanted to make a comment in terms of what you said about the real estate market. Since my better half is a Rossmoor real estate agent, I get regular updates on the Rossmoor housing market, among others. And over the last 2 or 3 months, things have actually been softening pretty significantly. Prices of homes have been dropping, including one that she recently sold. And there's a lot more inventory that's been going on the market. So I think in a way that reflects the fact that housing prices have been going up so much over the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. Interest rates have increased. And so now it's not, I don't think it's just flattening out. I think it's actually in a little bit of a downward trend, at least for now. So because of that, I'm happy that you made a 4% projection, very conservative in terms of our revenue increases over the next 5 years. So I think that would help reflect what actually is going on, even though the future over the next 2 or 3 years is going to be somewhat difficult to know for sure.
Well, the projected increase is 4% against almost 8% that you just experienced.
Correct. That's why I'm happy you did that.
Well, believe me, I've been followed. I don't have a real estate agent next door to me, but I do follow the literature on the housing market. But keep in mind that it isn't just the housing market that's doing well. It's all other categories.
I'm aware that, there's other factors involved. Yes. Then you included all of those and referenced them. So everything you did, it was an excellent job in terms of the preparation and the presentation. That's what I always like about your materials. They're very easy to follow, even for someone like me.
Well, a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Exactly.
Anything else, Ron?
No, that's all I have. Great job.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Henry. It's a great report. You could see the numbers on the surplus when you and I were on the board back in 2007, and then other people spent it after that. But you're right, there were a number of capital improvement projects that had been deferred for a great number of years. I wanted to look at page 49. The page 46 says our average expenses, the average annual increase over the last 5 years was 2.81%. And of course, that includes the fact that it went down and then back up. So for 2 years, it was basically flat. But how did you arrive at the 3.46 average annual increase?
In expenses.
Yeah, in expenses.
In conversations with your general manager, who has really taken hold of what this district needs. Mm-hmm. And in conversations with Mr. Mendoza, he has indicated that he's looking to see what next needs to be fixed. Because it's been a while since we've had a major capital project program. In fact, for the last 2 years, I think you got a zero. Mm-hmm. And if you don't keep up with your maintenance and improvements, you're going to get to a point where it really costs you more than if you did them on a regular annual basis. So I think in your conversations with your general manager as part of his budget development, that's a good question to raise with him about his thoughts and his projections for capital expenditures.
Okay, so that was very artful, but I don't think I have an answer. the average annual increase, was that a number, basically you added in some projection of employment cost increases and then, you know, special projects, but what, how did it come out to 3.5% flat line every year?
There's nothing that indicates to me that there's going to be any fluctuation of any consequence in any of those categories. And I have a 5-year trend that says this is what it's likely going to be. And you take that trend against no anticipated outcomes, and it's pretty simple to come up with a figure that represents, that is consistent with your past 5 years.
Now, is this only Fund 10 expenditures, or is it all funds?
No, this is your audited Fund 10 numbers. But remember, there's no revenue for capital projects.
I understand.
So you have to move money out of Fund 10 if you're going to do capital projects.
So this projected expenses is both capital and ongoing.
There's a modicum of capital included, but
I mean, we
again,
will go down in expenditures from paying off the bond in 2019, 2020.
those expenses are paid.
That's not Fund 10, but it's an expense. That's kind of why I asked the question. Is it just Fund
Well,
10?
those are not expenditures against your budget. Those are offsets by your assessments to the community, which pays for those.
Well, they're expenses and they're offsetting revenues, yeah. So we'll lose the revenues as well when we finish paying off the bonds.
But that hasn't occurred yet, so.
It's either late 2019 or early 2020. Okay, I just was trying to figure out where that number came from. I think I agree with Ron that it's entirely appropriate to budget your revenues conservatively. It's much better to find out you had extra revenues at the end of the year than running short. So I approve of that. Expenses, I'm just trying to get a handle on whether the expenses you're projecting are conservative or kind of straight line what you think pretty close to the middle, or whether you're shooting high or low. That's kind of where I'm at on that. But
well, it's an art.
We'll find out.
It's an art. It's not a science.
Correct. Yep.
You know, one thing the one chart you didn't give us here was 2013 actual revenues and expenses compared to what we projected 5 years ago. I'd be curious to see how well our 5-year projections.
Did we project 5 years from 13? When did we start this 5-year?
2015.
Was it 2015 that we started? Okay, so we only have 3 years.
Yeah, we only have 3
And
years.
this is as far off as I've been.
Yeah.
I've been tighter than this is the extra revenue and the less expense is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I promise you we won't come looking for you if it's wrong. At least I will.
Oh, yeah?
Ron may. Thank you very much. That's all I had.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. Great job. Great job. Michael and I were in this committee and on the 26th and went over all these numbers. The fact that we have not spent any capital improvements to kind of bolster our rainy day fund has, worked and now we have some monies to do some improvements, some substantial improvements, and I think we're at a very good time right now in terms of our finances here in our district. We have a lot of money and in reserves, and hopefully we can use them to improve the district for the benefit of our constituents.
Well, actually, aside from reserves, you also have the excess of revenue over expenses on your budgets. And so you've had a healthy carryover year to year, which adds to your reserves. But any fiscal year you want to, there's money there without affecting reserves, plus or minus, if you wanted to take on a capital project.
And Henry, even if, let's just say prices, I don't see the prices going down of our homes, as we saw in 08 and 09, but even if they did dip slightly, it's the revenue the income we get from the portion of our taxes we pay, it's not we're not going to see that much downturn in affecting these numbers going forward in the next several years. Even if there's a downturn in sales, the sales start to get sluggish, correct?
Just keep in mind that the number that I've used is 90% of your housing stock won't turn over.
Correct.
And you'll get a 2% increase on 90% of your housing stock.
In any given year.
Any given year.
So that means 10% of the stock turns over every year, you're saying?
Well, that's an approximation.
Yeah,
It's difficult to determine what happens,
right.
Because these are.
So really, it's the.
But when prices go down, people don't tend to go ahead and sell their house anyway. They take it off the market and figure out.
And continue to pay their taxes.
And continue to pay their taxes. So they only sell if they have to because they lose a job or they have to move or something like that.
But even if you had no turnover whatsoever, you'd still get 2% increase on what you
That's a
earn.
guarantee.
Yeah. Any more questions? No?
We're good.
We're good?
No, nothing further.
I believe we have we vote to accept this? Yep.
Do we have to
motion? It's a motion to accept?
Yes.
Motion to accept?
I didn't see that in the agenda. It just
nor did I.
just said receive the report.
Yeah, motion to receive and file.
Motion to receive and file?
Receive and file.
Okay.
Move to receive and file the report.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Henry. Wow. It's 6:45 and we're already at general manager items.
Quarter to
Good
eight.
job. Good job, Mr. Mendoza. Mr. Mendoza.
All right, President DeMarco, members of the commission, you had asked earlier about the report on the street sweeping issue, and I just want to commend Mr. McHenry. He's been in my office a few times. We've had coffee together, and he's very interested, and there are some other residents that have called in that we're taking a list, and we hope to form a strategic plan at the start of the year to take this issue on. We've talked to Mr. Whitaker from Supervisor Steele's office, and he has also acknowledged that starting January 1st, we're going to look at this issue and try to hammer it out. Okay.
Fantastic.
I want to commend Chris, if I have a minute, on the upcoming holiday festival this Friday night. Chris has done a great job. You know, sitting up here watching this and watching some of the performers and things, I don't think staff realizes what they're doing. In essence, they're creating community, and they're creating, you know, a healthy community, and they're creating an environment where families can interact and have a good time and celebrate with each other. So, Chris, thank you, and it's a teamwork effort. Omero and Liz and Kathy back here, and everybody's pitching in, Mary and Tim, and I just am glad to be here. And I can see the synergy, so it's pretty cool. So we're looking forward to Friday night. To let the community know and the board know that the ongoing public works construction project, repairing and replacing damaged sections of concrete, including pedestrian access ramps, curbs, gutters, and drive approaches, will conclude this year. Also, in the spring, there will be a slurry seal and overlay project that will conclude the whole project. I'm happy to report that we did drive the area on Tuesday when we had the heavy downfall, and compared to other agencies, our drainage system was A+. I mean, there was a few, because we had some downpour, there was a few intersections that had some standing water, but in comparison, you know, it was very, very well drained. So that's a good thing, and that's some of the things that are improving. Okay. At the board's request, staff looked into the tree city sign located on Catella Avenue in Los Alamitos, and is working with the city of Los Alamitos staff to research and to get an update on what their plans are to do with that sign. They aren't, to our knowledge, a tree city anymore, and so we're working with them, and they were very open to that. And they're looking into that.
I notice it now every time I drive by it.
Yeah.
Every time I drive by.
So it is on their property, but and apparently back in the day,
it's amazing.
They were a tree city back in the day. So
yeah.
Formerly a tree city.
Yeah, formerly, yeah.
I always thought that sign referred to us, and I looked at it proudly, not knowing that it was Los Alamitos.
We need a bigger sign.
We needed a sign, yeah. Put it in, yeah.
Based on a Rossmoor recent resident complaint, the Orange County Traffic Committee conducted an investigation at the intersection of Wallingsford and Ruth Ellen Drive. This is new, okay? And prepared a work order to install a do not block intersection sign, supplemental to the existing keep clear pavement markings on Wellingford Road. This sign, which is regulatory and enforced by law, will warn drivers from blocking the area.
So Mr. Mendoza, right now, it is keep clear, but there's no signage.
Right.
Okay.
And so it's not enforceable.
And everybody ignores it, and I've never seen it enforced, not once.
So it's somewhat of a safety issue.
Oh, it is.
And additionally, the county has contacted law enforcement regarding the residents' concern and have requested additional enforcement in the area during peak hours. That's when it's really occurring.
Yep.
And the work order is with the Operation and Maintenance Division and will be completed within 6 to 8 weeks. Okay, so that's a good thing and a good issue that we that this resident did take action, and I think Liz was involved in that. So thank you. The RCD conducted a special meeting on November 27th and voted to upgrade the 796 streetlights to LED technology. The direction is to utilize 3,000 K throughout the community, and to put 70 watts on all the residential streets. So it's 3,000 K, 70 watts, 3,000 K, 100 watts for parks and schools, and 3,000 K, 150 watts for Montecito, Orangewood, Bradbury Road, and St. Cloud Drive. This will make a super improvement in enhanced safety and visibility, and this project scheduled to begin February 2019.
Excellent. Yeah. Can't wait.
Yeah. It's going to be a great addition.
Yeah.
The board also directed staff to pursue the purchase of a LAUSD modular unit for $1. I believe you remember Superintendent Kropp came and they were doing some renovations and they had some extra modular building. The 4 that she initially had before we got back to her the next day were already spoken for.
See.
It was quick.
Yeah.
And they let us know that there might be some others available, but they're currently planning their efforts in renovating the school, and we're first on the list, and we will know. If not, staff is already starting to look into some other alternatives. Okay.
They'll let us know. Is there a time frame when we'll find out?
No.
Just whenever they tell us.
Right.
Okay.
In the future, in January, staff will be touring all our facilities, conducting a safety, space, and facility needs review, as well as CalOSHA requirements, and we'll keep you updated on that. There are some rooms that we want to clean out and or combine and create some other rental space and some other recreational opportunities. As the board also directed staff to remove the 2 diseased trees out here in the Rush parking lot, and that's done. It was done yesterday. I was shocked. Those are big trees, and this company took them down in about 6 hours, did a great job. They already took the stumps out, everything. They grinded it. It looks very good. And we'll keep you informed on future plans. We will be coming to the tree committee and giving them an opportunity to either choose the trees that we're going to replace them with, or if there's other strategy involved, we'll talk about that.
Yep.
Looking forward to a great winter festival, and we honor which community on behalf of the staff. Happy New Year and a great holidays. But I'd like to turn it over to our attorney, Tarquin, and I'm going to try to say his name right. Preziosi?
Preziosi.
Okay, I'll remember that. Preziosi. I got it.
I like how you did
I tried to break it down.
Yes,
into syllables. But Tarquin has a couple of items he'd like to discuss with you. Tarquin?
Thank you, Honorable Board of Directors. So we received notice from Caltrans, Department of Transportation, that the mitigated negative declaration, IS, and environmental assessment for the 605 Catella Avenue interchange has been approved by Caltrans. That approval occurred on November 15th. They then, shortly thereafter, filed their NOD, Notice of Determination, with the State Clearinghouse. That starts the 30-day statute of limitations to bring an action under CEQA to the determination to approve the project. So that a conservative estimate would be that statute of limitation runs, that 30 days runs as of December 15th. So if any party who had objected, the board did object to the project, would have to bring in an action under CEQA as of December 15th.
Do we know whether they made any changes to the project prior to final approval?
Not significant changes, apparently.
No material changes?
No material changes. It didn't take any action. They addressed the board's comments, but they did not take any action on the board's comments.
And this is the Catella on and off ramp with 605?
Correct.
Because we had several pages of comments and concerns related to that project, and so they just looked at them, maybe glossed over them, and said, okay, we checked it all out, and we're going ahead.
Well, what they do is they comment on the...
They have to respond.
They have to respond.
Correct.
Okay,
they did respond.
Right.
Oh, so that will be in the document, their responses?
Right, that is in the document, in the final MD. I've seen
I'll have to check it out.
Right.
Is that on our website? Do we have that posted, the final EIR?
I'll have to check. I'll put it on there.
If not, let's put it on. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's all I have to report.
Okay. Wow. Thank you, Tarquin. Okay. Well, let's see. It's only three of us.
That's true.
Ron, let's start with you.
Why not?
Yeah, you got a lot of energy tonight.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. It's a holiday season, so why not? Well, first I want to thank our presenters this evening, the Fire Authority, for very informative information, plus Cub Scout Pack 657 for presenting the colors and having something different in terms of us doing it. We had some youngsters that look very happy in terms of being able to do that, so I think that's great. The a cappella got everybody in the mood, I hope, for the festival coming up in 3 days, so I want to thank them for appearing. That was also very entertaining. And I just want to, wish everyone in our community a very happy holiday season, and I hope to see everyone at the Winter Festival in 3 days. It's going to be bigger and better than ever. So I hope to see you all then. And that's all I have.
Great. Director Nickerman?
Yeah. Just a few things. Echo Director Casey's thanks to the Cub Scouts troop and the McAuliffe Choir. Excellent. My daughter was in the McAuliffe Choir a mere 15 years or something ago. Glad to see they haven't lost their touch. And we'll be looking forward to seeing all of the choirs on Friday at the Winterfest. Mr. Mendoza, I don't have to tell you how rare it is to have a constituent come up and tell you what a great job you're doing and how happy you...
Yes, doesn't happen often.
Yeah. Doesn't happen often. So take it to heart. You guys are doing a great job, and pat yourself on the back. I think that was great, and it's well deserved, I'm sure. I was driving down Montecito the other day, and I saw one of those portable, presumably Caltrans speed monitors, and I'm wondering if we know anything about that.
We will check it out.
Where was it at?
It was on Montecito near Tucker, more or less.
Yeah, no, when we had our meeting, Mr. Mendoza, that was one of our items, was the speed around St. Cloud.
Yeah, so I was wondering if that was...
I believe Deep Sea is doing a study.
That's what that was.
Okay.
So she's going to get, that was part of the one of the items we asked her about was the speed on that turn. Right. As it relates to crosswalks and stuff.
Okay. And this was briefly mentioned at the last meeting, but for the audience, in case they're wondering how I came to be elected when they looked at their ballot and went, I don't see any RCSD election on the ballot. I didn't see you. How did this happen? The only two people who signed up to run for the RSD elections this time were the two incumbents, and so we, per government elections code, we saved the taxpayers a little money and didn't have an election just to confirm what was already the case. So let that be a lesson to all of you to get out there and next time and put your name in the hopper to run for the RCSD board. But that's what happened. So it was by appointment of the Board of Supervisors, as I recall how that works. So anyway, so that's what happened, and that's why you didn't see Director Kahlert's or my names on the ballot this time. Finally, I do want to wish everybody a happy holidays and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and drive safely. We are getting rain, and so and the kids will be out of school pretty soon, so do watch your speeds and try to drive carefully and try to look out for people. Hopefully we'll get our new lighting in January, right?
February. So, nice.
February. Yeah. So until then, you have to be extra careful.
Yes. Thank you.
That's all. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I want to report to the board that we had a email from Deep D from the Transportation Department telling, it was an email to Mr. Mendoza about a consent calendar item on the Board of Supervisors agenda this December 18th concerning the bike lane on Foster. And I just wanted to let the board know that I did send a letter just restating our 2017 position. The letter's right here. And that was all. I just restated because we sent a resolution last year and we sent a letter to our supervisor. So just wanted to report to the board that I did that. I too want to thank all of our guests tonight, especially all the young people, the Cub Scouts and the a cappella choir from McAuliffe. Want to thank the Fire Authority to coming down here in December. That was fantastic. Mr. Mendoza, you're doing an excellent job.
Thank you.
Because I talked to Mr. Mendoza a lot as president, I just want to report to you guys that he hit the ground running, and you know, last month he was able to get the Cerritos lighting reports from the city of Cerritos, and he is working tirelessly in his office and throughout Rossmoor, and it's very impressive. I'm very happy with our choice that we made. So,
thank you.
Doing a great job, Mr. Mendoza. Thank you. Let's see. I wanted our sponsorships for our festivals our festivals cannot come about without sponsorships, and I just want to thank again. I know Chris thanked them, and I know we'll thank them on Friday, but Team Chamberlain has sponsored this event now for 2 years running, and we really appreciate the sponsorship from Team Chamberlain. Without the sponsorship, it would be very difficult putting these festivals on, so I want to thank Team Chamberlain for doing that. I too wish my Rossmoor residents, my fellow Rossmoor residents, happy holidays, a happy new year, and certainly everyone sees the construction going on in Rossmoor, and I know they're on my street this week, and just be patient. A lot of money is being invested right now to improve our streets, and I know at between 7:30 and 8 o'clock it's tight to get around them, but just have patience, and over the next several weeks, just remember a lot of kids are home from school, especially at night. We're going to have great lighting in Rossmoor hopefully in about 6 to 8 weeks. Just tonight, it's very difficult seeing pedestrians, especially Montecito. I mean, today coming home, it's very difficult seeing pedestrians. So please be careful. Please abide by the speed limits. And just be careful. The kids are riding their bikes, riding their skateboards, running around. We don't want anyone to get hurt, and hopefully the new lighting that we're putting into Rossmoor is going to help with the visibility. So let me see. Oh, and you know, Liz, I too, it is rare that we get such a positive public session. You know, maybe we can make that soundbite on the website with Mr. McHenry or something. You know, that's nice that we get positive. You know, kind of makes you.
Maybe we can.
Yeah, maybe we can. Oh, thank you. Just a suggestion, maybe. Okay. Let's see. I believe that is it. Oh,
you may have set a new record.
Yeah, we might have set a new record as the shortest meeting. So I'm finished. Thank you very much, staff. Chris, thank you for all your hard work. We'll all be here on Friday. And I'm sure, just like last year, we got shirts.
Oh my.
Yes, nice. I like the blue.
Hey, it's a big upgrade.
Yeah. So thank you very much, staff. We'll see everyone this Friday, 6 o'clock. A lot of entertainment. And with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great job.